What is food security? Food security is the measure of the availability of food and individuals' ability to access it. According to the United Nations Committee on World Food Security is defined as meaning that all people at all times have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets their food preferences and dietary needs for an active and healthy life. The availability of food, irrespective of class, gender, or region, is another one. There is evidence of food security being a concern many thousands of years ago, with central authorities in ancient China and ancient Egypt being known to release food from storage in times of famine. At the 1974 World Food Conference, the term food security was defined with an emphasis on supply. Food security is defined as the availability at all times of adequate, nourishing, diverse, balanced, and moderate world food supplies of basic foodstuffs to sustain a steady expansion of food consumption and to offset fluctuations in production and prices. Later definitions added demand and access issues to the definition. The first World Food Summit, held in 1996, stated that food security exists when all people at all times have physical and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food to meet their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. Several approaches are possible for achieving sustainability and food security, such as limiting food losses and waste, eating more plant-based food, or recycling foodstuffs. Ensuring food security requires action in multiple dimensions, including improving the governance of food system, inclusive and responsible investment in agriculture and rural areas, in health and education, empowering small producers, and strengthening social protection and mechanism for risk reduction. Food can be preserved by using different methods, for example, refrigeration and freezing, canning, dehydration, freeze-drying, pickling, pasteurizing, fermentation, not only at small scale but also at industrial level. So how does food security access differ from the developed world to the developing world? In a developing world, context economic factors are of even greater significance, whereas developed world poor at least have food available to them, even if they cannot often purchase much of it. Those in the developed world are sometimes so impoverished that they are not able to afford nearly any food. Food security is the focus of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. But what is food security and why does it matter? Well, in short, food security is about having enough to eat. More than 800 million people live in hunger every day. According to the UN, and experts predict that a further 2 billion people will undernourish, not have enough food to stay by 2050. And day-to-day hunger isn't just an immediate problem, it has lasting effects too. Poor nutrition can impact physical and mental health in a big way, especially in children. In fact, studies have shown that children who experience food insecurity suffers from restricted growth and development, physically, socially, and emotionally, and are more susceptible to chronic health conditions later in life. Food security is a global challenge that needs to be met with the development of better food production system, education, conflict resolution, and other impactful world hunger solution, with ethically driven programs that are structured around the UN CDGs. GVI offers effective ways to assess in reducing world hunger.